Guys, I really don't think undergrad prepares you for the questions that you should be asking in your graduate school interview. And so, from hindsight, having gone through grad school, these are the questions that I would have asked. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jasmine if you didn't know, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about 10 questions you should be asking at your next graduate school interview. So I wanted to make this video because just as graduate schools are deciding if they want you in their graduate program, you need to be deciding if this graduate program is right for you. So let's get started. Question number 1. What are some major characteristics that make your graduate program different from the others? This is an important question to ask because it gives you an opportunity to understand what is most important to the interviewer in terms of what their graduate school can provide. Question number 2. What opportunities do you have for financial aid and scholarships? Guys, I've talked about this so many times in my other videos. Graduate school is expensive, okay? Anything that can provide you with money to pay for this program, that's going to be important information for you to know. Okay, so for questions number 3 and 4, I decided to put them together because they are equally related. Do I have to provide my own externship, and can I pick my own externship location? So these two questions are something that I never thought to ask during my graduate school interviews because honestly I didn't understand what an externship was. So if you don't know, an externship is the time that you spend out in the community really getting some different type of experience outside of your university clinic or whatever your typical clinical placements have been. And so it's really important to understand, are you responsible for finding these? For my graduate program, I wasn't really, I just had to name a place. So then that goes into the next question, can you pick your own location? This is a great time to figure out where you kind of want to live post-graduation. So if you can pick your own externship, that's actually a really great opportunity because you can either choose to stay where you're at for financial purposes, maybe that's the place you want to be, or you can decide to venture out and say, maybe I'll spend this amount of weeks here deciding if I like it, so then once I go and pick a job, I'll already have that place under my belt to decide like, how did I like that area? Question number 5, what is your average class size? This is an important question to ask, especially if you are someone who prefers smaller classes over bigger classes or vice versa. A lot of graduate programs, at least all of the ones that I applied to, do have that cohort type setup. That's pretty typical for speech pathology, but if you're applying for any program, a number of programs are likely not to have that cohort setup. So it's very important to ask how many people are going to be in an average class size, just so that you can get a gist of what type of learning environment that you'll be in for the next 2 years. Question number 6. What electives do you have to offer, and can I choose my own electives? This is very important, right? Because typically in graduate school, they have a set amount of classes that everyone's going to have to take. But electives can be really cool because it can kind of give you an opportunity to go towards a specific area that you might be interested in. Question number 7, how will classes, clinics, and externships be arranged in this 2-year period? Now, when I was in graduate school, I had no idea that externships, classes, and clinics were arranged in any other way at any other grad school. This is just how I thought things worked. You had class and clinic for 1.5 years, and then your last semester you just focus on externships. There were no classes. And so honestly, that ended up being a great setup for me personally because I felt like I learned all of the things that they had for me to learn, and then I could go in with all of the class notes and knowledge that I had gained into my externships. Whereas some people mix in externships with classes and clinics. So you're still learning a lot of things along the way, even when you're in your externship program. That is totally fine. Both setups honestly can work great. It really just depends on what your preference is. So that's why I would say this is a great question to ask during your interview. Question number 8, what opportunities do you have for research? A lot of schools have research labs, right? But they're not all going to have research labs in the same area. So this is a great opportunity to figure out what the niche of this particular program is. So if you are someone who wants to figure out if you're interested in research or you want to hone your interest through research, this would be an important question for you to ask because all schools are going to focus on something different. So make sure you're finding a school that has something that you could potentially be interested in. So questions number 9 and 10 I decided to put together because they're two questions really on the same coin. How do you choose clinical opportunities for your students, and what clinical opportunities do you have? So I think it's easier to start with what clinical opportunities do you have. My school, for example, I feel like we had a wide range of different clinical opportunities, whether that was from early intervention to school age, all the way up to the geriatric population. However, if I think about our opportunities as a whole, we had a lot more opportunities for school age children than the other populations, which is totally fine. But I think it's also important to ask these questions because graduate school is an opportunity for you to throw yourself into everything the field has to offer. And I say that because once you're out, it's not likely that you're going to get a job in a place that serves all of these different populations. Typically, you're going to a place that serves one population more than another. Whether that's in a school, you work in a private practice that works specifically with kids or specifically with adults. There are some outpatient opportunities I feel like that kind of go across the age range, but typically you're going into one specific setting. So grad school, it's better to kind of throw yourself into a lot of opportunities to see what you like. Which leads me into the question, how do you choose your clinical opportunities for each of your students? So what my graduate school would do is every semester before we entered our next semester of clinic, they would have you write down the clinicals you've already done, write down the populations you've already worked with, and then write down what you still feel like you need or what you still feel like you want to work in. And so they would try to kind of look at what you've already done and cater to the things that you still need to experience or the things that you would like to experience. So it's always good to know how your graduate school is going to be choosing those opportunities for you to make sure that you have the opportunity to get a wide range of experience during your time there. I really hope that these questions were helpful and that you have the opportunity to ask some of these questions during your next graduate school interview. A lot of these questions I chose based on things I wish I would have known before I chose my graduate school. Not to say that I didn't like my graduate school experience. We had a lot of great classes, a lot of electives, opportunities for research. All of that was really great. But there was a lot I didn't know going into the program. So if you ask these questions, that will really help you feel more prepared for when you start your graduate school experience. If you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you guys have any questions or things that you want to add, feel free to do so down in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content. But until my next video, peace.